He hadn't abandoned many of the basic ideas of melody and harmony, which most composers had.
James Siddons' book is titled Anthony Milner, A Bio-Bibliography, published by Greenwood Press. For FM 89 News, this is Seth Williams.
But basically he believes that if you will stick to the traditional diatonic tones, the traditional melodic forms and shapes, the basic structures of tonality, you will have something that will carry you even into legitimate music of the 20th century. You can look at his music and find things in which he has obviously been influenced by Stockhausen, by Webern, by Schoenberg, but he also will do this in something that has a Baroque, even a medieval technique worked into it. Sometimes I'll say to people, no matter how chromatic or complex his music might seem, there's always something to sing.
Milner was personally repelled by serialism and some of the other academic trends that were fashionable in the 50s and 60s, insisting that composers could not dispense with melody and harmony and still hope to keep the public listening. Milner's blunt opinions made some enemies in the worlds of criticism and academic composition. But James Siddons says that Milner has now lived long enough to see what he regards as the eternal verities of music come back into style.
Towards the late 70s and to the 1980s, there's been something called the neo-romanticism in music, return to tradition. And many composers now are quite willingly writing triads and things that were very much out of style in the 60s. When I began to read these things and see them here and there in an abstract, impromptu way, I began to think, well, this is what Milner kept telling me about things, about his music. And I began to realize that much of what was sort of coming back in style, he had been doing by fighting the current, so to speak, all along.
Right now, potential listeners who want to hear Milner's work will discover he's not likely to be in their local record stores. Only 4 works are available. All are contained on 2 English label LPs. His Symphony No. 1, his Variations for Orchestra, his Cantata Salutatio Angelica, and his secular cantata Roman Spring. James Siddons says there are 2 primary reasons why Milner's work is hard to find. Why is he so under-recorded?
But I think it's because he's outspokenly Catholic music. It's based on, not just like Bible, which anybody can listen to, but specifically Catholic liturgy. He takes these words and so on. I think that makes it difficult for some composers and performers to want to do that. But I also feel that he has been writing music which there in the 50s and the 60s was not in the mainstream of serialism and of abstract mathematical design in music. And therefore he was considered old-fashioned.
James Siddons' book is titled Anthony Milner, A Bio-Bibliography, published by Greenwood Press. For FM 89 News, this is Seth Williams.